morning or good evening whenever you're watching this video. Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name's Naomi. My husband, myself and our 3 daughters immigrated to the UK in 2020. My husband had to come over first in March 2020 and the girls and I followed in November 2020 when we had our visas. So over the last 2 and some bit years, I have been learning new things. And if you have been watching my series called Different, you will see that there is a lot of things that I have learned while I've been here, and I've been making videos to try and help others who have had to navigate their way through moving to the UK. So today's video is more of a fun video. No disrespect to South Africa or England in this video, or sorry, to the UK. It's just a little fun video about words, because the one thing that does happen to you, no matter where you go in the world, whether you immigrate to Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Canada, words are going to be different, because as South Africans, we have come up with our own words. And a lot of those words are words that we have in Afrikaans that we have made more English, or we've just picked up the Afrikaans word and used it as a normal word. Of course, a lot of people would use the word highball because I don't know how to translate that into English or into the UK, but to me, I still even now go highball because you get a fright. That's not really a South, that is a South African word because it's Zulu, but yeah, it's a word I still use. I'm just trying to think of some of the other words that we use without even thinking. Unfortunately, one of those most common words that I use that I probably shouldn't use here in the UK is I still say yeah. And when I'm speaking to people or without thinking, I just go yeah. The equivalent here in the UK is actually yeah. So if you're saying something and the person goes yeah, just know they're going yes. Like we say yeah, they say yeah. Now I am looking here, I'm trying not to look here too much, but all my words are here on the left on my laptop, so I will be looking here. And so if you watched my schools video or my postal video or any of my other videos, you know that I have tried to always go with this. If I've said the South African word, I've tried to correct myself by going with the UK word. My niece, who has lived in the UK for many years, said to me, you know what, if you want to use your South African words in your home with your family, it's fine. You don't have to change yourself. But just remember that some people are not going to understand what you're saying. So in that way, it's not that we want to get rid of our South African way of speaking. It's that we want to speak nicely so that people from the UK can understand what we are saying. And it's just more respectful. If somebody came to, someone came to South Africa and they were disrespectful about how we speak, we wouldn't like it very much. So when you're in the UK, it is just respectful to try and use words or terms that the British people will understand. So I'm going to just fire off words as I've listed them. I'm not going to try and do them into any category of any kind. So here we go. Okay, so the first one was, of course, yeah, yeah. And we all know that yeah, yeah means yes. In South Africa, we say pants. In the UK, they say trousers. Now, of course, you can still say trousers in South Africa. My mom used to call them trousers. But to me, if I say pants, I'm talking about jeans or pants that you are wearing. But if someone from the UK says to you pants, they are normally talking about your underwear. Right? So again, I come back to it. In South Africa, we say pants, panties or brookies. Here in the UK, they say knickers. A very common South African word, and a word that I even remember adverts for calling it a bakkie. Here in the UK, you would say pickup. yeah, it was quite funny. We had an electrician come to our first rental, and he was busy doing a check of all the electrics in the house. And I couldn't for the life of me think of the word that was the same as Bucky. Well, a word that described a Bucky. Eventually it came to me, it was a pickup. So just remember, you can't say the word Bucky here because unfortunately the British people don't know what a Bucky is. Now, of course, this is a very popular one. We say bra. In the UK, they say barbecue. So if you are with your colleagues and you're going to have a bra on the weekend with your friends or your family, you are going to tell them that you are going to have a barbecue. One that I commonly forget, especially with Leah, I still say jersey. I'm not wearing a jersey today, but I still say jersey. And here in the UK, they say jumper. So I do teach Leah, her school jersey is her school jumper. Of course, there are tekkies. We all know, if you come from South Africa, tekkies, whether they Naks or whether they come from Mr. Price Sport or wherever, they are tekkies. Here in the UK, you would say trainers. So if you wanting to buy a costume for yourself, no, I'm not talking about a Halloween costume. I'm talking about a good old-fashioned cozy, because in South Africa we used to call it our cozy. I know even when I used to pack my PE bag for school, and Casey and Hannah, when they were little, when they used to pack their PE bag for school, it was always their cozy. Where's your cozy? So that's a very South African word. And here in the UK, they just say a swimming costume, because if you just say to them a costume, they think you're talking about dressing up. One of my favorite words, and people tease me about it, is I go, oh shame, oh shame. Because no matter what, it's always, oh shame. Here in the UK, you would go, oh bless. So it's very similar, and I think in a way, oh bless is probably nicer than oh shame. When you are looking at buying things for your home, if you are requiring a couch, you would need to say, here in the UK, a sofa. So we went into a shop to buy our couch, and the lady said a sofa, and every time I said couch, she kind of looked at me a bit strange. Oh, sorry, it's a sofa. So yes, in South Africa it's a couch. Here in the UK it is a sofa. A very common South African word, which I think the moment you step into South Africa, you would probably hear it as, how's it? It's a very South African word, but here in the UK, they go, hiya. So if you hear someone going, hiya, they're basically saying, how's it to you? This one, if you watched my school's video, you know I corrected myself quite a few times. It's not high school here. It's a secondary school or a senior school. So it's something you have to get used to, like I had to get used to it. But of course, it's normal to go high school, but it's actually a secondary or senior school here in the UK. In South Africa, we say headmaster or principal. Here in the UK, it is just the head teacher. You go to a bar with your mates or your friends, and someone says to you, would you like a dop or a juice or a cool drink? You know exactly what they're saying. Here in the UK, they would say, would you like a drink? And of course, there is also, if you're in the pub, would you like a pint? So yeah, it's a drink or a pint. And of course, the South African is juice, cool drink, dop, whatever. Would you like a Coke? I still remember that. Of course, we all know this one. If you are South African, it's a robot. I will actually insert a little emoji of a robot. Yeah, no. Of course, South African people know it's a robot. Here in the UK, if you say robot, they think you mean beep, 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 like a real little robot. It's called traffic lights. I had to... Once I was walking along past the hospital where we live here, and a couple stopped me and they asked me, no, sorry, I was on my way somewhere else, and they asked me where the hospital was. Without thinking, I told them at the robot, turn this way or whichever way. So please remember, here in the UK, it's not a robot, it's a traffic light. Here in the UK, there are a lot of what we would call a circle. In South Africa, we say a circle. Here in the UK, we call it a roundabout. I think in South Africa, we did call them roundabouts, but when I was driving, I always used to say the circle by Liberty Mall, or the circle here, or the circle there. It's just, I suppose it's my bad habit, but here in the UK, it's referred to as a roundabout. In South Africa, you say highway. Here in the UK, you would say motorway. If you watched my shopping video, I told you that at the end of the tills, there is no one there to pack your bags. Remember, here in the UK, it is not called a packet. That's what we call it in South Africa. It's a packet. Here in the UK, it is called a bag. So if someone offers you a bag, that's what they're offering you, is a shopping bag. Now, this one is just, my husband threw this one in just for anybody who, if you are a engineer or you're going into an industry where they deal with tools. This one is, in South Africa, you would have called it a shifting spanner, but here in the UK, they say adjustable. And the last one that I could think of, because I have been going through this list and trying to remember all the different words, but the last one on this list today is when you phone somewhere, when you phone any place and you finish talking to the multiple press one, press this, press that. In South Africa, we would go, hold on. If we want the person on the other end of the phone to just hold on for a second, we say, please hold on, and the person holds. Here in the UK, the people on the other end of the phone go, bear with me. Now, to me, I think that's a much nicer way than saying, hold on. So for now, those are the only words that I can think of. I can always do a part 2 of this video if I think of more words. I hope that you guys have found this video helpful. It's been a lot of fun to make because I've sat through and I've gone through words and I've been listening to people talking around me. And again, please, this is no disrespect to South Africa or to the UK. It's just like I say, it's so much nicer and so much more respectful if you speak nicely and you speak in words that everybody can understand. And of course, we all know that you speak English in the UK, but it's just nice if you speak nicely and you use nice words. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, that's great. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. And I hope that I will see you in the next one. Bye.